Hello, everyone, and welcome to an impromptu version of the Sarcasm and Liberty live stream. No, it's not Wednesday night, and yes, I've been on a kind of a hiatus from live streams, but tonight we have a very special edition.
Yes.
Amos is with me, and Amos just drank, how much did you say? A gallon and a half?
Liter. So it's so far I've had a liter of this.
He's on his way to finishing a liter and a half of white wine.
Yes.
Amos ate some Chinese food tonight because he's Chinese, Taiwanese, whatever you are.
Half.
And then half Taiwanese, half white, Hapa. And he drank way too much wine with them. Amos, how do you feel?
I feel great. If I put in enough focus, I can definitely maintain a good enough composure for the live stream, but that is never the case. So I have never been on a live stream drunk, at least not to this level. I still have a lot. I still have a lot to maintain or elevate the level of drunkenness I'm experiencing right now. I had a really long week with a new job, which can't say what job it is, obviously, but I started a new job and it was a very long week of.
Is it a secret?
Oh no, it's not. It's just, doxing purposes. I can't just go around telling people. I am not so drunk. I'm not so drunk. It is actually a very information sensitive type of job. So I could tell you off air and all that, but yeah, for the job, I can't just go around telling people what I do because I do deal with sensitive information. We'll just leave it at that. So I am actually there's no amount of drunkenness, I think, that could make me break that type of thing. But the fact that I am drunk makes me a very interesting person to have on a live stream. And I reached out to Mike. And of course, I'm feeling a little bit coming down, so just gotta drink a little more.
All right, yeah. We got to keep you. No, we're doing this for entertainment purposes. So
exactly.
If you're pass out in the middle of the live stream, that's fine. I'm at home. I'm watching the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Oh, is that who's playing?
St. Louis and Boston.
And is that a best 4 out of 7 that they play?
Yeah, right now it's tied 1-1. This is game 3.
Whoever thought that was a good idea? MLB and NHL to do 4 out of 7. Why was that ever a good idea? Mr. Sportscaster, why is this a good idea?
Well, baseball, it's a good idea because you have multiple pitchers and multiple scenarios. Like even in college, they have a best of 3. Like in the College World Series, you have to lose twice to be eliminated. I mean, there's so many different situations, and hockey is kind of the same way, and basketball is kind of the same way. Football, if they did a best of 7, people would be worn out because, I mean,
the game's just too intense to pull off that kind of thing. I mean,
yeah, it's too intense and way too physical and rigorous. People would be dead if they do 7 football games.
Could you imagine just quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks and all this being used like baseball players are, pitchers are? You just see a baseball player in a bullpen. No, sorry. Football player in a bullpen, throwing at a machine that throws the ball back in him or something just to warm up.
Right.
We got the second string quarterback warming up in the bullpen. No, that's. But I mean, I guess it makes sense that the game is. I mean, but baseball games are so freaking long, though.
Well, yeah, but they're also. I mean, you have to sit down and watch a baseball game. You have to appreciate baseball. That's really what it comes down to.
Do you appreciate baseball, Mike?
Baseball is my favorite sport.
Oh, such an American.
Yes.
I mean,
I love baseball because it's all strategy. I mean, it's not just throwing a ball and trying to hit it. There is so much like anticipation.
What is
game.
your least favorite sport?
Least favorite? Oh gosh. Maybe I hate watching golf because it's so boring. It's fun to play, but it's so boring to watch. I don't understand how people get so excited over golf matches. Like, oh, Tiger Woods is about to win this thing. And I'm just like, oh, who cares?
But it's Tiger Woods, though.
Yeah, and Tiger Woods is cool, but, you know, like, it's just, I can't sit and watch a golf game because it's just, like the commentators have to whisper because they don't want to distract the golfers while they're trying to take a swing. And it's,
I mean, okay, do you know the comedian Brian Regan? No. So look him up. Really good. So he talks about, it's really funny. He's talking about a golf, like, so the punchline is basically he's talking about like how golf is and how like they usually will like have the commentators like really quiet, you know, here he comes, you know, on the green, putting. Right. And then so he's doing all this and he goes, but, you know, sometimes they'll have like, you know, some sort of ambiance, some sort of nature music, like birds. Like they'll give you like a close-up. You're like, what does it sound there on the course? You know, birds chirping, all this stuff. And he goes, what? And he goes, surprisingly, there was an incident with the PGA Tour where a guy actually wrote in a complaint because they had the wrong ambiance.
Really?
He literally sent in the tape and he goes, does this sound right? And then, you know, and then it's like, you know, he's there, here he comes. You're putting in the green. And then tuki, you know, just the bird is like going off like he goes, that is not a bird that is native to wherever the fuck they're playing. And so he says, you know, the bird that is native to there sounds a little bit more like this, you know, tweet, 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 tweet. So that was his whole punchline was there was a guy that took golf so seriously that he was listening to the ambiance they play and complained to the PGA Tour commentators. And yeah. Oh boy. We got people watching or what? It's impromptu, man.
Yeah, it's impromptu. I'm about to put out the signal.
The signal. Oh, so I don't know if you know this. So you know, you ever seen the videos of like the big buff dude like in his car that like yells at the camera about like crazy stuff, and it's all about like it's like Jim Bro stuff.
Guy. Yeah, I love
Brooke,
that dude. He's hilarious.
Brooke, you know, my co-host, met him in Birmingham, in England.
I saw that.
You saw that. We got mentioned.
That's
wrong
really cool.
Name. No, yeah, like I'm like we literally just rebranded the show, and we're like no, but funny enough, the episode
is still awesome though.
Oh yeah, we're like Brooks, like we're gonna try to get this dude on, get him to talk about stuff. Just however we can. I mean, I'm looking right now, and because they mention us on their podcast, and we saw a small spike, like 5 times the downloads we've ever seen on our podcast. I'm like, and he's like, yeah, you know, I was listening, you know, our buddy Brooke, you know, we met him. He's a really awesome guy in his podcast and the Shitlord Preachers. I'm like, fuck, it's the wrong name. So we like turned it on him and I'm Fubar now. So
you're getting there.
So I'm feeling it getting there. How do you turn interest? What does introspection look like as a drunk man? Well, here's how it looks like.
That's how it looks, folks. Chugging a wine bottle.
Exactly. I wanted something.
You're about to drink an entire gallon and a half of white wine. What time did you start drinking that?
Liter.
A liter and a half. Sorry, my bad. Liter and a half. What time did you start drinking that?
6:30 Central Time. Probably.
It's only been 45 minutes, dude. You're about to finish the whole bottle?
I ate pot stickers, which are mainly meat and vegetables, so I'm not having a lot of carbs in my body.
And what? You're feeling parched?
I'm running on about 4 or 5 hours of sleep because I had a long week at the new job. Mm-hmm. I worked today. I worked a 10-hour shift today. Came home and I was like, fuck it. I've got tomorrow off. I don't have to do a podcast till 11 in the morning. I'm going to get as drunk as I can, but I want to drink something that's just going to go down easy and get me slushed. Whiskey, but whiskey goes down in a certain way. You just feel a certain way and you're like, I don't like the way whiskey makes me feel. Whiskey or rum, just like strong alcohol. I was like, what's the strongest thing that's like sweet? And yeah, people are going to say, yeah, you're a pussy for drinking wine. You're drinking like frou-frou drinks or whatever just to get drunk. Yeah, but I looked for like the strongest thing. It's fucking 12% alcohol. God, good grief. I drink 2 sips of this, and it's about the same as 1 sip of whiskey. So it works. I'm thirsty. I've got food. I'm just going to eat, so I'm okay. I've got a pizza in the freezer, a big pizza in the freezer. I've got food, and then I've got the wine, and I'm like, I'll drink the whole thing and see where I end up. I ended up on a live stream.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came into our live stream chat, and you were like, who's down to live stream? And at first I thought, no, but then I thought, wait a minute. This could be really funny. So,
and I'm like,
here we are.
Drunk. Really drunk. See, the liquor store is probably about half a mile away. And obviously, smart thing is don't drive there to get more. But I could walk there. No. I'm not going to walk there because walking as a drunk person can have other problems too. So, does anyone? No one's liked the tweet. Why is no one like the tweet? I got to retweet this now.
Because no one follows me.
More people follow you. But see, what's funny is the moment I removed shitlord preachers from my Twitter, I started getting followers again.
You think the word was scaring people away?
The word was screwing up with the algorithms. So Mr. Jack Dorsey is like, alt-righter doesn't deserve any followers. Because that's the thing we thought about was the word shitlord preachers had an alt-right connotation that the left likes to attach. What? Oh. Someone's messaging me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm on a live stream.
Tell them to tune in.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this will be good stuff because a lot of sound bites that you guys could take away of Amos ranting on about stuff. In the news today is this is a selfie stick. Mance Raymond got banned from Twitter. What the fuck happened there?
Yeah. Said something about he would put a bullet in someone's head and sleep like a baby. I don't know what he was talking about, but
something about how anarcho society, like in an anarchist society, the best way to combat crime is to kill the criminals.
Yeah.
So he threw something out there, and but context obviously doesn't matter in Twitter.
Well, here's my thing: Twitter can ban whoever they want, and if you're gonna type something stupid like that, like you're just asking to get banned. Like going on Twitter and saying that you would put a bullet in someone's head and slip like a baby, yeah, you're asking to get your account shut down.
We talked.
Did you get a permanent ban, or is it just like a temporary ban?
It says suspended. So the thing I noticed with that is there's anarchists out there that unfortunately I just see as like the same thing as dogmatic Christians. You saw this in our chat. The Christians who call everyone who's not a Christian sinners is the same as anarchists who call everyone who's not an anarchist statists. And it's like we live in a world where it's not necessarily being a statist, but understanding that in the real world, we have government, we have systems, we have authority, we have politicians, and not every person is out to get you and want to kill you. Like, I mean, there should be a whole new anarchist label called Anarcho SJW, because that is literally what is going on with anarchists. Is they're SJWs about anything with government, anything with politics, anything with laws. It's just we can't have laws, we can't have government, because everything government does is bad. And I will agree to a point. But we live in a world where we unfortunately need government. The masses are stupid. The people need organization. I've asked anarchists, what would happen if government disappeared tomorrow? Well, government would come back again in a couple generations because people are like, we're going to vote, we're going to organize, and we're going to have a government again. Next thing you know, statism happens again. You're not gonna work around that just because you're this edgy anarchist that thinks we should just privatize everything and oppression will be eliminated because we will be completely in control of our destiny. There are always going to be people that don't care about their freedoms. They just want a comfortable, secure life that is completely taken care of without their full attention. And this is what happens when I get drunk, is I start to really talk about things. I should have like a drunk Amos like philosophy thing. Like
drunken philosophy.
Drunken philosophy. And it's just sarcasm and liberty. It's just people in different groups, whether it's sarcasm and liberty or me or other people that just come on here and get absolutely sloshed and try to talk about a certain political topic or philosophical topic and see where they go.
Right.
But
oh man.
Yeah.
What do you think about? Let me ask you this, since it's still kind of relevant in the news. Did you read the Mueller report? Did you read the 440-page
440 pages? Who has the time?
Did you take the time to read?
No. Why am I going to read a 440-page report that basically says maybe or maybe not Trump colluded with the Russians? The Russian thing makes as much sense as trying to abolish the Electoral College. It's just like you're not going to get anyone on board with this stuff, and it's just a pipe dream. Trump colluded with the Russians. The Russians colluded with Facebook. Facebook colluded with China. Google colluded with China, because that's happened before. Like, we live in a world where everyone is colluding with somebody else for financial gain, political gain, gains of being more powerful. It's just, in the end, focus on what you're doing and what you believe in. And, we don't get this. I mean, 2020, as much as I may not agree with Trump is probably going to win again. I
think he is going to win again.
Biden is going to be the male version of Hillary Clinton. We're going to go through this whole charade again, and the left is going to spurg like there's no tomorrow, and Trump wins, and the left loses their minds. More women's marches, more whatever that's going to happen, more SJW stuff, more like you're going to have Vox 2.0, you're going to have Vice 2.0, you're going to have BuzzFeed 2.0, you're going to have all these places that are like, we're going to double down even more.
Yeah. Well, here's what I think. Now, the right is going to turn out for Trump.
Right.
Even like people who didn't vote for Trump in 2016 have already said they're going to vote for Trump in 2020 just because of the way the left has been acting ever since Trump won. Now they want to vote for Trump just because of how insane the left is becoming. I think that in order for the Democrats to win back the White House in 2020, they would need a candidate who could raise the kind of enthusiasm that Obama did in 2008, and they just don't have anyone like that. Like even, like Beto Mania was big when they wanted Beto to beat Ted Cruz, but now Beto is running for president. I'm sorry, Robert Francis O'Rourke, because I refuse to call him Beto.
Beto was in the election because the table companies wanted to sell more tables for him to stand on.
Yeah, like they wanted, like people wanted Ted Cruz out of the Senate, so they propped up Robert Francis, and so many people donated. But now you look at Robert Francis, and he's polling like what 1%. Like he's probably gonna be one of the first ones to drop out.
Now and then people are really getting on this Andrew Yang guy. And it's like, I don't really think Andrew Yang's going to really do anything unless he pulls noise. Well, he's like the most, he
outside the libertarians, I haven't really seen anyone talk about Andrew Yang.
Well, because libertarians like to look at the underdogs, and that's totally fine. I just think Andrew Yang, he is the most viable Democratic candidate as far as I can see, because he talks about the real issues. He addresses the issues that people care about. He addresses the people that want to be heard.
But honestly, I think the only reason Andrew Yang has any kind of recognition right now is because he's a meme. Andrew Yang is a meme, and Get That Bag is a joke. That's why Yang has any recognition at all.
But imagine a meme winning an election. Trump won an election, and now he uses memes. What if the next election is all about memes? Beto O'Rourke is standing on tables.
Robert Francis.
Whatever his name is.
I refuse to call him Beto because he's not actually his
whatever, name. But Beto is the meme. Beto is the meme because he stands on tables everywhere he goes. Tables are
O'Rourke
not
is
safe.
A furry.
No,
he's a meme because he's a furry.
No,
he's a meme because he's a furry.
And the tables are just gonna have to take it.
What?
No, he stands. He stands on tables.
What are you talking about?
He stands on the tables without their consent.
And the table doesn't want to be stood on, and you're telling me the table's just going to have to deal with it? Like
exactly.
This is why we brought you on the live stream.
Beto standing on tables is destroying the idea of consent. Hottest take of me. So.
Oh gosh.
No, but like the thing is, I think the Democrats are gonna literally have to pull a rabbit out of their hat with memes and relevance. Andrew Yang has those things, and he literally has to pull so many freaking rabbits out of the hat and just completely overwhelm the mainstream media with their Joe Biden, Beto O'Rourke, Tulsi Gabbard, Kamala Harris, and all these people. It's like Tulsi is gaining attraction with libertarians because she's so vehemently anti-war, which is great. But
her economic policies are a lot like Bernie's. And
yeah,
I mean, yeah, libertarians are liking her, but I don't know if libertarians are going to vote for her. Like, if I had to support a Democrat, like if I had no choice, I would support Tulsi. But
I mean, the chances of libertarians voting for Tulsi, I think, are just as equal as the chances of libertarians voting for Yang. It's just she's too much of an idealist. He's too much of a long shot. Like, he's the Gary Johnson of like Democrats. Like, he sounds so great, but he's just not controversial enough to really get in your face. He doesn't have the notoriety of Joe Biden. He has some good ideas, but he's just a little bit too red flag commie. Like, I will hold, like, as much as I don't, as much as, like, what? Oh, sorry, I'm reading something. Andrew Yang, he's not going to be taken seriously because of the memes, because of the social media culture, and he's just not edgy enough. Like, the dude needs to really do some like shit posting if he wants to be taken seriously as a candidate. You want, because he's not only going to have to win the left, but he has to win just a little bit of the right to get out there and be like, hey.
The left really aren't shit posters, though. Like, the left just sucks at memeing. Like, seriously, if you're getting out memed by boomers, you're pretty bad. So, boomers making right-wing Trump memes look better than left memes.
If Mike makes better memes than you suck.
Yes, I am not a meme maker. I come up with ideas for memes and I tell the others and they make them, but I don't make any memes.
Like, Andrew Yang has meme potential because he literally pays people $40 an hour to make memes for him. I would freaking apply to that job. Great. But he needs more of that. He needs to capitalize on that. He needs, like, I mean, you need to take the CNN, like, WWE wrestling meme that Donald Trump made, and throw in, like, Yang and Trump and, like, him wrestling him down. That will get up there. You need to like gamble. But no, he just wants, comfortable little bit of universal benefit, UBI. But
$1,000 a month is what he's talking about.
Dude, as much as I will absolutely not vote for an absolute commie Taiwanese traitor, I will take those bags if he gets elected and passes that into law. That is the truth. That is absolutely
true.
Bag.
Get that bag, homie.
I will get all the bags because I don't have. I said this publicly, so this is not just drunk Amos saying whatever. But I was unemployed for about a month, and I claimed some unemployment benefits. Is that saying oh my gosh, I am the benefit of statism? Probably. But here's another way of looking at it. I am a libertarian who doesn't give a fuck and actually just wants to get my money back. Who better than to get my money back than me?
Look, as much as we talk about government handouts and we talk about, this and that, the fact that while you were doing this, you were actively looking for a job and you found one and now you no longer need to draw unemployment because of that, I see nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
It's just, you hit a rough situation where you had to quit the job you had, and you need to stay on your feet somehow. It's not like you stay there. There are people who will stay on that for years because they are content with doing that. And they're the ones that I have a problem with. But the people who do it temporarily, and like you said, you paid into it for so long and you were just taking it back out. Yeah, that's
right. No, it's one of those things like I think there's a moral obligation for every libertarian to try to claim as much money as they can from the government, because what money that doesn't go to the government that goes to the people is one less dollar that is not being used on stupid wars and stupid pay raises, stupid stupid social security, welfare, subsidies. It's like it goes back to the people. People want to go on and on about Alaska, but it's like fucking A. Their people get the money that that they get back. They get a rebate on their taxes. What do we get? A refund. If I, as a taxpayer, am not happy with the service I am being given by the state, why should I not be given a full refund every single year until the government operates the way I agree with?
Have you noticed how taxes have just become so much more confusing ever since this GOP tax cut was?
Taxes have been some of the most complicated things in the Western world because the US is just like, yeah, like we have all these libertarians, but it's just because we have some of the stupidest taxes in the freaking world. Like as much as Scandinavia has all these high ass taxes, Canada has high taxes, we have dumb taxes. We don't have high taxes. We just have dumb ones. Sales tax, income tax, property tax, capital gains tax, corporate taxes, estate taxes, gift taxes. Like if I win the lottery, I got to pay a tax on that, which funny enough, the state runs the lottery. It funds like education programs, but I got to pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
But you know who doesn't pay taxes?
Who?
UN representatives. If you work directly for the UN, you pay no taxes. Or if you're like a 501c3 nonprofit organizations. There's also other things like a 501 B, which the NFL is. That's like a very rare type of organization where they can avoid a lot of taxes too. But
they dropped their nonprofit status though, so they are paying taxes now.
Right. I heard there were some like special laws that basically exempt the NFL from certain taxes that organizations have to pay.
They had,
but it's like
they had identified as a nonprofit, but they dropped that label, so now they're paying taxes.
Yeah, but it's like about that. This is, I mean, it's like on one hand, I want taxation of theft. On the other hand, we should all equally contribute to the system that unfortunately we have to live under, because if it kind of works, we might as well, like, everyone should be operating equally under it. But yeah, it's complicated because it's like, I hate the fact that churches don't have to pay taxes, but I also think taxes are theft. So it's like this. That's my problem with anarchists is they say taxation is theft, which is true. But they also cannot accept the reality that taxes are a thing. So they start to like evade taxes, which, good for you, do that. But don't be surprised if shit goes down and you say something stupid like someone deserves a bullet in the head because criminals deserve to be shot, and you get banned from Facebook. Or, you start to say like, I'm just going to start like falsifying my tax returns come April 15th, every year, and you get caught. It's like, we live in a society. We're still that.
Yeah.
But
I'm making taxes are the price we pay to live in a civilized society.
Taxes are both the price we pay to live in in reality, but also the bridge for us to understand that taxes have to be abolished. Like, I found out the easiest way to get people to understand the libertarian position is like, hey, You like Amazon, right? You order stuff from them. Yeah. It gets here in 2 days. It's a reasonable price. It gets here on time. And it's a good quality product. Great. Why can't the government provide any of that for you? You pay taxes every paycheck. You file for a report every year. The potholes are still not filled. The wars are still going on. Shitty people are still getting welfare checks.
Schools still suck.
Schools still suck. Indoctrination in,
Especially
you get whole like major cities across the U.S. getting completely hollowed out by corrupt political like schemes for the
Flint
sake of
still has
funding.
water. Yeah,
Flint still has shitty water. The Middle East is no more or no less unstable than it ever will be, thanks to us. And it's just like, good job, taxes. So, yes, pay your taxes, but also be an activist and say, fuck taxes. But don't be that, like, it's like people that go out there and like, am I being detained? Don't be a dick to cops, but also question what cops are doing. Like, cops pulls you over because you're going 5 miles over the speed limit. Yeah, that's kind of
well within your right. You're also like, whenever they ask you where you're going or what you're doing, you're well within your right to tell them it's none of their business.
Right. But at the same time,
do it tactfully, do it cordially. But you're well within your right to tell them.
The whole am I being detained has become a meme unto itself, where it's like, am I being detained? I'm a sovereign citizen. And next thing you know, you're getting the shit kicked out of you and you're in jail for the next 5 years. Unless libertarians, and I'm not calling for this, unless libertarians are legitimately interested in overthrowing a government with bloodshed, you ain't gonna get anything done. But the NAP applies. So why are we gonna start killing people? So then you got to realize you have to vote people in. You have to, the system sucks, but good thing we have a system that doesn't suck so bad that people can't be elected. At the Minnesota State Convention for Libertarians, we got city council members that are libertarians that are talking about some awesome stuff. They got to make changes. And that's a small step, but we got to take those steps. We got to
you got to start.
You got to start somewhere before you get anywhere. But it's like, we want a libertarian president now. It's like, not going to happen.
Yeah, like, we do have the right to abolish the government if we feel that it's unfair. The Constitution does grant for that. But, you do realize that if the government disappears tomorrow, what's everyone going to do? Panic.
Right.
Be chaos. Like, whenever you say you want to overthrow the government and replace it with nothing, okay, yeah, I totally get like the end game there, but it's not that easy.
Exactly.
You have to get the right, well, I hate saying you have to get the right people in there, but you have to get certain candidates in there.
You literally need the right kind of people.
Gradually scale it back until it becomes nothing.
Exactly. People want to talk about the gridlock of the Republican government that the U.S. has. Yeah. So, libertarian utopia is going to take about a century or two. Start from somewhere. Gary Johnson, as much as the Libertarian Party completely gave up on him and, pulled a 180 and was like, fuck this guy. He was the most electable candidate we could find. Adam Kokesh is not electable. Bill Weld is definitely not
oh gosh, no. Why? I'm glad he left the Libertarian Party and wants to primary Trump. He's going to get trounced if he actually goes through with it. But
all these people that are like, ooh, these like tasty tasty, you know, hot take alternatives. No.
Yes.
You need someone that is going to make a small but momentous change in government to nudge the government in the direction of, you know, either going back to 1776 or at least going back to a more libertarian USA.
Yeah.
You're not going to, you know, Adam Kokesh wants to abolish government tomorrow. Not going to happen.
Bill Weld. Yes, let's nominate the guy who did just as much campaigning for Hillary as he did for his running mate.
Oh my God.
Gosh.
I mean, and then of course he got onto Mitt Romney's radar because Mitt Romney's like, if it was Weld Johnson, Weld president, Johnson vice president, he said I'd totally be backing it. And then of course Weld shows his true colors and I'd vote for Hillary. Fuck that.
If Mitt Romney is endorsing you, I'm not sure that's a good thing, to be honest with you.
Exactly. You're not going to go anywhere with this shit.
Yeah. By the way, we got a comment in the live stream or in the chat. Matt J says he quoted you saying taxes are the price we pay to live in reality, and he said this will be a meme now. Thanks.
Exactly.
So that's about to be a meme.
Most anarchists.
And then he also don't want to overthrow the government. Most want to subvert the government and make it obsolete through technology and so forth.
There is a special word for what he's talking about. It's called crypto anarchists. They're basically, they believe that technology will make government obsolete. Like, you can have a government sort of run or organized sort of society. Yeah, crypto anarchists are basically like the new edgy, like hipster anarchists that are like, technology is totally going to solve the government problem, man. And probably not. I mean, well, actually, there's a good chance, yes. But the way they go about it, I don't see it really like, you know, the fact that I had to hear about it from already someone who's an anarchist tells me that it's not important enough that people are hearing about it. More people are going to know about something as, you know, controversial as like Kekistan and Pepe the Frog than they're going to know about crypto anarchy. So it tells me that it doesn't matter. Anarchy, on the other hand, needs to be better understood by people so that people can see it as like a viable solution to government. Hey, government kind of sucks. It steals all our money. It starts stupid wars. It abuses its own power. So let's abolish it. I can see that, and I can totally get behind that. But you push the Rothbard button, which is basically, you know, if I push a button and government disappears tomorrow, I'd say a lot of people are going to die. Yeah. That's just reality. And understanding that and having an appreciation of the fact that it's a good thing we don't live in a world where I can push a button and people die is great.
So yeah, I actually appreciate that. Yeah.
So anarchists should appreciate that and say, hey, we can still make changes. We can still vote for city council, county level, or even state level people to kind of like dismantle government little by little. I mean, if you dismantle state governments and federal governments, or hell, what if a group of states just decided one day, you know, we dismantled so many rights in our own states that we're like, hey, let's make our own country that is like basically, you know, Ancapistan in the US. They could totally do it. What is this? Oh. But yeah, like that should be like understood by people. People don't understand this. They're just sitting in. I mean, I'm starting to see more and more. A lot of people are just sitting in, maybe not their basements, but they're sitting in front of their computers like I am right now, going on and on about ideals that are probably never going to happen in my lifetime.
Yeah, it needs to be a gradual.
It does,
thing.
and no one understands that.
It's going to be slow moving.
You have anarchists nowadays that are like, we should just privatize everything today. It's like, we don't have the maturity to handle that. People will
not only that, but
die. People will die.
You also have to change the mindset in this country. Like, because there are people who, absolutely worship government, but at the same time, if you try talking about some of these things with people who are not anarchists and who don't understand anarchy, like, you can explain it all out to them and have it make sense, but in the very end they're going to be like, well, I'm not entirely sure if that's going to work. It's like people have to be on board with that.
People need to try things out, and like trying the most extreme option just doesn't make sense. Like, hey, let's abolish government today. All right, how many people do you want to die? Okay, so we don't go to extreme. Let's abolish taxes today.
I would be okay with abolishing income tax. I mean, I'm fine with sales tax because I don't have to buy anything. I could produce my own stuff if I absolutely wanted to avoid sales tax.
Like in the Overton window, what is acceptable to talk about in society? Abolishing income tax is definitely on the fringes, but it will make changes that will make people realize, oh shit, the government ain't shit without the fruits of our labor. So then they don't get that anymore. And then we're like, hey, I don't have a, gross pay and net pay. I just have pay.
Yeah.
So I get that money. And it's like, okay, still, I got to pay money for the land I'm on, which is stupid because I own the land. Why should I have to pay for it? People are like, and funny enough, Mike, when I was talking about this with someone, but I didn't get to this point. When I lived in Taiwan, there was an engine tax. My family drove. Someone came across a Buick Regal, 3-liter engine. 3.2-liter engine, big ass engine. Well, that's a little too big for the Taiwanese government, so you need to pay a tax of $100 a month.
Seriously?
Yeah, because the engine's too goddamn big. All you really need in Taiwan is a 50cc moped engine to get you from point A to point B. You don't need no 3-liter, Buick Regal engine to get you from point A to point B. So fuck that. You're gonna pay taxes, and we paid that tax. My parents did, at least.
I just love it how they tell you what you need.
I mean, I remember I went to Singapore and I saw Lamborghinis and freaking mainly Lamborghinis and really nice ones, but I knew for a fact it's $60,000 to purchase a license for a car before you even get the car. I could have a $2,000 car, but
people think buying a license here in America is bad. Gosh, 60,000.
I mean, here's the thing. The thing what makes the U.S. so interesting is we have such a diversity of taxes. Some countries have a high single tax. They have one tax that's just ridiculous. We just have lots of taxes. I mean, you've seen the whole thing with so I get my paycheck while I paid this much in taxes. Well, but then my car is kind of running low on gas. So I get a full tank of gas. Well, that's this much in taxes. Well, then I decided to go watch a movie, and that has taxes. Well, I wanted to go get groceries. Well, that has taxes. Well, I wanted to go, I want to bank or I want to take out a loan. Well, that, I don't know. Every fucking thing has taxes, and it's just like, when are we gonna realize that
Taxes
taxes?
and licensing.
Yeah.
Licensing,
So
asking permission by buying a piece of paper that
I
says you
have
can.
I have a friend who runs a business, a very profitable business here in Minnesota, and they have to pay a bunch of it's not necessarily occupational licensing, but they have to purchase licensing fees in order to
Yeah,
perform certain, we'll just say,
business license.
improvements or renovations upon their business. And it's just really, and in their field they need a lot of that. Well, it's just so ridiculous that they're wasting more money on trying to comply with government regulation than like gambling. Like, before you even think about gambling your money on a business venture, you got to pay the government for all that. Like,
Did did he have to buy a license just to have the business?
you had to buy a license for the business. You had to buy a license to build a deck on any of the structures you have in the business. You have to buy a license to, have a dock in the lake, because let's just say this is a business with recreation. So they have to have like fishing docks and stuff. Well, you got taxes and licenses on that. They have taxes and licenses on just about everything. Like, oh, I want to build another dock. I want to build, I've got a cabin for people who are fishermen. I want to build more, land or build more structures on this cabin. Well, there's licensing for that. It's like, what the hell? Anything even I want to do personally, there's going to be taxes somewhere. Like, yeah. So taxes. Taxes, man.
Yeah. What do you think about Donald Trump wanted to put these tariffs on Mexico while he's simultaneously trying to finish a new trade agreement with Mexico?
He's putting a tariff on Mexico. He's putting a tariff on China. Who else is he putting a tariff on?
I think it's China and Mexico. Is he putting a tariff on the EU?
Probably. But you know what's so awesome is I am all for Brexit, I think, is a good thing, because the UK gets to split off from the EU to basically pursue interests that they find the most fitting of their own.
There are other countries now. Who want to split.
Countries that want to split because
Italy wants to leave.
Countries are realizing that it is better to have a system that allows and promotes the fact that they can pursue their own interests. As alt-right as this might sound, but it just sounds so bad. It's weird, but it's like, why can't Italians want to pursue a nation and culture and society that is more favorable to Italians? Why don't, but what does Italian mean? And then it's like, how does it apply? Well, like an American is very different from an Italian, because an American can be a white guy, black guy, Asian guy, Mexican guy. An Italian probably just means an Italian guy and not much more. What's going on, unfortunately, in the Western Europe, is a lot of these countries are being sort of overrun because the EU says we need to start to this is me admitting to the fact that I'm not a open borders libertarian. I'm not saying go build a freaking wall, because of Mexico, but countries should have the sovereignty and the right to say, we don't want certain people to come into our country, not because we hate them, not because whatever, but because they don't line up with our interests. What if a bunch of Chinese people, literally the most loyal communists in in China move to the US now, I think a lot of Americans, regardless of political party, would probably just to be a tad against that. Because they don't know us, they don't know our culture, they don't know our interests. And that's not to say people can't come into our country. It's just to say that people are different across different countries, and people shouldn't people are not meant to be just radically altered in terms of where they are. What if I completely relocated you, Mike, to the middle of Antarctica now?
That would not be very fair to me.
Yeah,
you can't. It's not habitable.
But see, okay, so that's a physical thing. So people might say, "Oh, that's not realistic." Amos just threw out Antarctica. Okay, so we won't say Antarctica. What if I threw you in the middle of Somalia?
Yeah. Well, I've been told a few times to go to Somalia. So.
Well, okay, so that's the meme. There's the meme of like ANCAP Somalia. I get that.
Just move to Somalia. Yeah.
But it's like that's a whole different thing because Somalia is the way it is. Surprise, because the state. So you got to look at it from a more like I guess a more realistic standpoint of understanding like, hey, just because it looks like Ancapistan doesn't mean it is Ancapistan. Somalia is not Ancapistan by no means.
No, Somalia is just a very. Somalia is a place that can't.
Anarchy does not
saved.
Yeah, anarchy does not equal chaos, everyone. You know, when someone tried arguing with me a long time ago about how like, oh, there's only anarchists that like destroyed Starbucks and businesses and CVS pharmacies in Washington, D.C. when Trump was inaugurated. Newsflash, everyone, most of them were not anarchists. Most of them were just triggered leftists that wanted to make a point.
Yeah.
Anarchists don't want government. Anarchists might want some violence to show like a resistance to government, but they're not in any real interest or position at the moment to say, let's organize and overthrow government. No.
All right. I know you're drunk and I know you're still working on that wine bottle, but I need to get some water and take a quick bathroom break. Think of it like a commercial on a TV show. Be right back.
All right. So, everyone in the live chat, post me any questions. I'm looking at the live chat now. I probably won't reply, but I know I'm pretty drunk, so I'll probably answer just about anything you guys post. So please do post your questions in the live chat on the YouTube link, and we will see where we go from there. I see we got Matt J and Canadian Daves. I would love to hear all of your questions, however ridiculous or non-ridiculous. I will do my best to answer as much as I can. Mike is in the bathroom, and he's just going to do whatever he's going to do. But I'm just chilling here, and I'm going to answer as much as I can. So, ask away while I drink a little bit more. Oops, excuse me. All right, Canadian Daves asks, do you think personal data brokering could solve the perceived need for UBI? I would need you to elaborate more on that because I don't quite understand the question. Not because I'm drunk, but legitimately, what do you think personal data, like if there's brokers out there like Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and the like, if they're brokering our personal data, Why would that connect with UBI? I want you to elaborate on that a little more because I'm having a little hard time figuring that out. As drunk as I may seem to be, excuse me, that question still doesn't quite make much sense. Hey, Mike.
What are we talking about? Hey.
I reached out to the viewers and said, ask me a question. And they said, do you think personal data brokering could solve the perceived need for UBI? If the customer took the reins of their own data, I think the customer should have absolute control over their data. But in a world where our data is, every kind of data, I get that. So if every kind of data is so freely shared, I mean, as smart or as stupid as people are, data is being shared regardless of what we think. Like, we're sitting there clicking agree to everything all the terms and conditions we come across without realizing that phone numbers, emails, personal information, credit card numbers, social security numbers, I mean, everything is just sharing. Like, I mean, I will admit, there's a whole bunch of data out there that companies own of me, but it makes my life both easier and more difficult in different ways. I know Facebook tends to try to label me as like a certain political demographic when in fact that's not true. But, it's interesting to know that Facebook labels me that way. So whether I could choose, however I use that information, either I break out of that shell and create more content to contradict that fact, or I just do my own thing and fuck Facebook. They can think of me however they want to think of me. Like, what was it? You know about that, Mike. You go into your settings, and you can look at your Facebook information.
Yeah.
View your information. No, not that. There's like a thing.
Personal information.
What is it? There's something like if you look at it, it'll actually show you. Like it'll literally show you like your profile that Facebook has of you. It'll show you all the political categories that they've put you in, all the financial categories, all the whatever categories they want. They put you in those categories to basically like, let's see, my Facebook information.
How did you get there?
I forgot.
Access your information.
If I click this, help account security. Okay. No. No, I don't want to look at that. What if I do? Okay. I can't even type. Facebook ads info. Do you know how hard it is? Do you know how hard it is to concentrate when you're drunk?
Yes.
Because if I put enough mental effort into typing or thinking, I can act just like a sober person. But I am on a live stream now, and I'm just. Oh, here we go. No, is that it? No, that's not it. Okay. I'm going to try to find how. Oh, Facebook will soon tell you how it's targeting you. Okay. Scroll your favorite. Okay. Why am I seeing this? I still don't know. There is an actual place you can find where... No, I don't want that. Privacy? There is an actual place you can look at your Facebook like profile, and it'll actually tell you like a rough breakdown of the certain political and ideological platforms. Oh, sorry, ideological categories that Facebook puts you in.
Interesting.
Settings, privacy. Who sees your post? Trying to find it. Public posts. General. Security? My Facebook info. Yeah, I actually don't know. So I found it one time and it threw me off a bit, and I was like, I could actually find like what ads. So Canadian Dave said, "Oh hey, by the way, I think I figured out the purpose of life in the universe is to differentiate space and time." Maybe that's more important. I mean, why is the differentiation of space and time so important to your purpose of life? There's a good question. And Mike over here is probably wondering what the fuck is Amos talking about.
Yeah, that's pretty deep, man.
Whoa.
Is this drunken philosophy going on right now?
Because I'm actually, I realize I just achieved another level of drunkenness, and I'm running dangerously low on wine, so it could go anywhere at this point.
You just you're drinking 1.5 liters. I don't think you need any more.
I mean, how long will this drunkenness sustain itself, though? That's the real question. Am I going to
sleep afterwards?
Yeah, but I don't have any work tomorrow. I just got to wake up at 10:30ish in the morning for a stream. And I just relax the rest of the day. But Canadian Dave's, please expand on that question, because just knowing the difference between space and time is, in theory, the context of time's existence implies the following. Oh my God. This is getting too complicated. In theory, the context of time's existence implies the following path of causation. But just because something happens doesn't mean it was caused by something. It could just happen just cause. Like Mike Ursery's parents fucked and he was born. But doesn't mean they meant for that to happen. I mean, look at this guy.
Really?
Sorry.
Really?
Impossibility, pre-time,
messed up, dude.
Sorry. No, you're fine. I'm not saying anything wrong with you. Oh my God. You're gonna okay, Canadian Dave's, you're really gonna post me some like greater than or equal to statements. Impossibility is greater than pre-time, which is greater than beginning.
I look at this the same way I look at an algebra equation. I'm like, what?
PEMDAS.
So that's you. That's you. That is all you.
Oh, all me. Just because I'm an Asian, huh?
Well, you're supposed to be good at math, so yeah.
Fuck. All I remember is PEMDAS, but I don't remember what it meant. Parentheses. Exponent.
multiplication,
division, PEM,
addition,
addition,
and subtraction.
subtraction. Fuck all of that. C, we use PEMDAS. That's what he's saying in the chat. Okay. That's true in many cases, but the implications of time supersede its own creation. What if time just was because it always has been? What if time is just... All right, we're getting too far into other topics. We're talking about how taxation is theft, everyone. But we want to talk about how time and space, brackets, exponents. Yeah, I'm not talking about brackets and exponents, talking about freaking libertarian philosophy.
Yeah.
And I'm finding myself achieving a different level of drunkenness at this point. So I have no capability of expounding upon PEMDAS equations.
Okay.
But yeah, fair. Yes, it is very fair, especially when you're trying to get a drunk person to explain PEMDAS. Forgive I'm reading the chat, by the way, Mike. The holistic approach towards a lot of things, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a holistic approach. It's just when you're a drunk person, it goes a little bit beyond a holistic approach. It becomes like the holistic approach starts to encompass eating pizza and solving the mysteries of the universe kind of meld into the same topic. Like, I want to talk about eating, I want to talk about food, but then somehow and along the way, I'm like, hey, isn't it crazy how like pineapple on pizza is such a divisive topic, like the political structure of the US? It is so divisive somehow. And people are making it both a meme, but they're also taking it very seriously. Because it is so stupid, but also so important to many people. They've made an important out of the spite and the joke of the thing. So here we are at the other side of pineapple pizza, and we realize political parties as they stand are complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Brackets. Forgive my hallucination. Okay. See, I'm smoking joints, so I go in the other direction. Yeah. Canadian Dave's in the chat. I totally get what you're saying. This is me in the live stream when I'm drunk because I go in very different directions. Could you imagine if I came on a live stream, DMT or mushrooms or anything like that?
That would be entertaining.
I would talk about things that I wouldn't even remember I talked about.
Let me know if you ever go to Colorado. And actually, no, I'm sorry, Denver. If you ever go to Denver.
You do know that we have like connections that were very much involved in that process, right?
We do?
We do.
Who?
We'll have to talk off air about that too. But we do have actually people that we're connected with directly, indirectly, that have actually played major roles into making that city and basically a psilocybin legal zone. Mushrooms.
Okay.
People that we've worked with, we'll just say. So yeah, no, it's a very good thing to that. Like, it's a huge step towards national understanding that drugs are not all bad, and drugs are meant to be tools for exploring like other dimensions or other parameters of like how humans are meant to like live our lives, because we're so aware of like things that happen to us or don't happen to us. Imagine if we take drugs that allow us to explore other realms. We are able to You give it to an animal and they just have a decent trip. Oh, that feels good. We take it and we're like, holy shit, I'm gonna make the next, Apple computer, iPhone, or whatever I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
We actually like freaking change the world taking these drugs. That's what makes it special. So it's like we shouldn't dismiss that when when I take a sip or a swig of this wine, something magical happens.
Nothing magical happens when you drink that wine.
Everything magical happens. Like we have a live stream and yes, Canadian Dave's in the live chat totally gets me. He says consciousness. That is
Well, you're drunk and he's stoned, so
hey, and somehow we connected in the middle of
Yes,
all that. I didn't have to smoke
yes.
weed to connect with him. He didn't have to drink wine to connect with me, but we connected.
You see, we don't have to be divided.
Exactly.
Anyway, all right, think about this. How ridiculous is it that when the government is not responsible for something natural, like something that grows out of the ground, and yet they still tell you that you cannot put it in your own body, whether it be marijuana, mushrooms,
I
coca
mean, think about
leaves.
it this way, though. There are legitimate things that we cannot put in our body. That much is true. But there was something about marijuana, and I'm not going to follow on the path like, oh, marijuana opened up the minds of like the oppressed, made them realize that government ain't shit, and, therefore they banned marijuana. No, I'm not going to go down that path. But I will say this marijuana is such an unpredictable, was by government standards, such an unpredictable plant that they had to keep it in check and realize that, hey, what?
So I didn't realize this, but Matt J is one of our team members at SNL. I did
Right?
not know his name on YouTube was Matt J. My bad, Matt. Sorry about that. But he he just told me something that was funny. I'll tell you about
What?
it later. It's funny. But
Oh boy. So before I lost my thought, what I was getting at is there's a lot of aspects, like the fact that we have the capabilities that we do as humans for consciousness, for being aware of certain things, and we can experience different contexts through drugs makes it interesting because we can realize drugs are not meant to be like taken away from us, but meant to be seen as tools. You can have, I think, potheads can have just as important and meaningful experiences as DMT users, LSD users, MDMA users, mushroom users. Hell, maybe even a little bit of cocaine users too. Uh, to experience different places of human consciousness that was not previously available to us. Like, I'll tell you, Mike, the first time I got high on, let's just say, a certain plant, one of the second time I got legitimately like really high on it, I was thinking about like 3D, like PowerPoint presentations. Like, you see like 2D presentations, you see graphs and stuff about companies. What if you had a society where like people started seeing like 3-dimensional projections? So not only are they seeing the X and the Y, but also the Z axis when it comes to reading graphs and shit. They use their depth perception to like read like, hey, we've got this time and velocity, but we've also got this other factor that gives us a better understanding of what's going on with the company, whatever.
mhm.
And I was like, that'd be super cool. Well, I typed in 3D projections. Guess what happens? Fucking Google's done it.
Gosh. Were the people at Google using the same plant?
Hey, the people, but here's what I do know: people at Apple have definitely used the same plant because that's how the iPhone was apparently created, was through drugs.
Nice.
Yeah,
I was
there
really bad. Well, I'm really bad at math,
there were
and
whole articles and pieces in magazines that described what was called the reality distortion field that surrounded Steve Jobs. He literally distorted reality because he was such an idea and just visionary guy.
okay. I'm really bad at math, and when I was in college, one night I was studying for a math test the next day, and where'd you go, Amos? Okay, I think we seem to have lost Amos. Um, but what we were talking about was Amos using a plant, which he refused to share with us exactly what plant that was. And he was visualizing 3D PowerPoint presentations. Oh well. We will go back to the live chat, look at some more. See, Canadian Dave is still with us. I can envision a hypercube because of weed. And he's also saying to look up US patent 6630507. I'm going to look that up right now.
Sorry about that. I had to go use the bathroom.
Now, why don't you say something?
Because going to the bathroom was more important than telling you.
You see, I at least had some courtesy and said, I'll be right back. I am looking up US patent 6630507 because Canadian Dave said to do it.
Oh, no, not that. US patent 663 what?
0507.
What are we looking at here? Well,
the Department of Health and Human Services has a patent which covers the potential use of non-psychoactive cannabinoids to protect the brain from damage or degeneration caused by certain diseases, such as cirrhosis. It is important to clear up one misconception about patent number 6,630,507, though. It is not a patent on marijuana itself. Instead, it only covers synthetic and natural non-psychoactive cannabinoids, which refer to the ones that don't get you high. Of course, though, it isn't as simple as that. A little bit of digging revealed that a few companies are set to benefit big time. But first, let's review the blah, 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 blah. Okay, so companies are going to benefit off of cannabinoids, but still no marijuana for you. Unless you live in a certain state.
Damn it.
Yeah. So.
All right. I think that's the signal for drink more.
Well, because you can't smoke pot legally, you're going to drink more now?
Yeah. That'll be quite.
You okay?
Good. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm just, the room is.
Are you going to be able to do your episode tomorrow?
Of course I'm going to be able to, because I got a little bit here left. I'm like, even if I drink all of this, I'm going to be fine.
You're gonna have quite the hangover tomorrow because that's wine.
Yeah, so. Wine. I know wine does that to you, but I make ends meet. I make stuff happen.
And all right, what's the topic for tomorrow?
We don't know. I mean, you didn't know that? We never have a topic when it's just Brooke and myself talking. We just talk.
I did not know that.
We literally messaged each other the morning of and like, hey, what are we talking about? I don't know. All right.
Oh, really? Well, we kind of do that with the Wednesday night live stream too. Like a few hours before, we'll.
Oh, but see, you guys actually have a little planning. Like this is 2 of us. Should be the easiest thing to plan, but no. Like that's what makes our show so unique. We will literally wing a show, and everyone's like, "Man, that was a really good episode." Yeah, we completely freaking winged it. Because we surprisingly we changed the name, and guess what? We have guests scheduled all the way till the end of next month.
You have a guest tomorrow?
No, not tomorrow. We have a guest the next week.
Okay.
Which will be what's her name? Steffi Cole, that redheaded chick that does like she's like a real big her.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have this guy. And then we have this Forex trader that Brooke has connections with, so he's going to be in there. And then we're going to reach and then we're going to have this guy named Specular Effect, another guy that's really connected with Brooke. We're trying to kind of balance it out. And then by the end of June, we're going to have most definitely, because we planned so far ahead, we're going to have Vinnie Marshall on.
Okay.
So we're going to get all that. I mean, that's the whole month. And, we're going to, of course, advertise the hell out of all that stuff. And then, of course, you never know what's going to happen with like those bodybuilder guys, that Robert Frank. You never know if that guy is just going to squeeze in. So at some point, we're going to get him on the show. Like, dude,
I imagine he's busy. He does a lot. I mean, he doesn't just make those videos.
I mean, he's not even like a liberal. He's not some political figure. He's just straight up a viral social media dude that just goes out there and makes funny videos. Let's see here.
Well, you did a good job getting Steffi Cole to come on your channel because
it is going to be
she has a pretty big following actually.
Well, so I reached out to her and just, wanted her to talk about a lot of like what has led her to where she is, and then we'll touch on certain topics, but you've been on our show, so you know how it is. It's just conversation. Yeah. We'll just start talking about something, and next thing you know, we're completely off topic from what we started with, but because of how like people follow us to that point, it makes it so much more interesting and entertaining that people are like, yeah, I like this. It's not just like, Joe Rogan basically does that in a longer format, which is totally cool. But like we've sort of seen that like happen in a shorter time frame. So
yeah, I can't like listen to an entire like Joe Rogan podcast episode because they're so long.
It's got to be like someone who's super like interesting to you. Like it's like a Jordan Peterson episode, a Sam Harris episode.
I listened to all of the one that he did with Tim Pool, and I listened to the one that he did with the most recent one with Alex Jones.
Right. Or the one he did with Tim Pool and Jack Dorsey and that other executive. Like that shit everyone listened to. But
the Twitter lawyer, Jack with one of his Twitter lawyers.
But if I want to sit down and I want to listen to like someone completely different, because Joe Rogan is like, hey, I'm going to give Twitter like half a dozen episodes to explain why it's totally cool to ban conservative speakers. I'm going to do that, and they're just going to come on here and play dumb. Oh, we don't know. It's all context, Joe. If Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, Tim Pool, Joe Rogan, Ben Shapiro, and all these guys are posting something, it's all about context. But if the left posts a picture about literally, suggestively, absolutely 100% just saying, hey, let's kill Trump, we're not going to touch that because context doesn't matter there.
Right.
I hate it, but the fact of the matter is the right is a bigger ally than ever for libertarians. I hate saying it, but it is true.
Well,
as much as I'm gonna laugh at Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA memes, the little face, and the funny ass shit, he is somehow come along as the conservatarian ally that the libertarians have never had. Kirk? Yeah, he has some libertarian views that kind of become overshadowed by the fact that he has a little bit of, Asperger's kind of thing going on, where he's just he's
a little too, I don't know, he's a little too
exactly.
Rah, go.
No, and I totally agree that the dude is like rah about Ben Shapiro and religion. I would give you all of that.
Just all these people on the right who are like, just all about Trump, like no matter what, like Bill Mitchell, Sean Hannity, Charlie Kirk,
right?
But then one person that I do consider an ally, and this is not the White House Stephen Miller. This is Stephen Miller, the journalist. He's on Twitter as Red Steez. Yeah, he is a conservative that I like following. And he is someone who's, whenever he shares an opinion, like he does a lot of shit posting on Twitter and just says stuff to rile people up because he loves doing that. But, whenever he actually shares his opinions, I tune in and hear what he has to say.
No, I totally get that. Like, I'm not saying people have to adopt a certain opinion. Excuse me, someone has, but
well, you've reached the hiccup stage.
Exactly, but certain opinions matter because they can make sense for the broader audience. The whole idea of conservatarianism is like a huge step in the right direction for trying to promote libertarianism, but unfortunately libertarianism are such a bunch of purist cocks.
I consider myself a conservatarian. Of course, I told you, whenever I came on your channel, I told you about my
but I mean, I'm just gonna be honest.
My political shift.
The conservative opinion becomes too much of such a cucky position to I'm libertarian, but still look conservative. It's like you gotta. I mean, I'm not saying go full blown ANCAP, but there is something about it to realize that government is just not gonna solve anything. Government is not meant to legislate morality. Government is not meant to hold religious views. Government is not meant to do anything. It's meant government is meant to be a social device to help people organize and feel some sense of community. It was meant to always be completely separate from government. But because government is so common, next thing you know, the church is both government and welfare provider. So,
well, here's my thing with conservatism. This didn't start with Trump. Now, of course, we all know that Trump is not an actual conservative. He gets called a conservative just because he's a Republican. But that right there is the problem. Conservatism was hijacked by all these big government moderates in the GOP, like Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney, Mitch McConnell, these people who call themselves conservatives but actually are not. Whenever I think of conservative, just in our government, whenever I think of conservative, I think of Thomas Massey, Justin Amash, Rand Paul. Those are actual conservatives.
No, I can get behind them on a lot of things, but I see them as realistically speaking, Justin Amash and Austin Peterson and Ron Paul, even these guys are principled individuals that have basically done some things. But the realistic thing is while they had very libertarian policies, they never full blown just hey, fuck the labels, I'm a libertarian. When did Rand Paul ever say I'm a libertarian and actually write it down on a piece of paper to be listed on mainstream media? No. When did Austin Peterson do that? No. When did Rand Paul do that? No. When did Massey? When did Amos? None of that.
Austin Peterson did.
At one point, yes, I will give him that. But he
did it until he went GOP.
Where it truly mattered to make changes for the Libertarian Party to be an actual legitimate contender for party, basically to fight on the same stage as as Democrats and Republicans. It was and Gary Johnson didn't do shit. Austin Peterson didn't do shit, and it's there's a whole bunch of problems you can talk about the Libertarian Party, but when it comes on to it, it's the fact that most libertarians are just they're too principled for their own good.
Okay.
Hey, taxation is theft. Great. So let's talk about why taxation is theft. Well, taxation is, it's before we even get into why taxation is theft, next thing you know, it's freaking slavery, it's racism, it's slaves, it's black people, it's Jews. It's holy shit. How did we go from slavery to all this stuff? How did we go from taxes to all this stuff? And the next thing you know, libertarians are just SJWs all over again. No, we were meant to be we played up such a good game when it came to the 2016 election to say, we're not Trumpers, we're not Hillary people, we're supporters, we're actually physically able to be good political people, we're a good political constituency. But then it's just no. The Republicans shot enough shotgun shells into the sky that Trump became president somehow.
I still don't know how, but
I don't know how, but they did. And we have to realize that strategy obviously holds some water. I'm not saying libertarians got to start shooting shotguns into the sky. But what I am saying is libertarians got to play something to deviate the political conversation in a direction that is favorable to their interests.
Well, they're going to have to rethink their entire strategy, really, because
exactly
libertarians, especially the party, they have a branding problem.
Right.
Their branding strategy and their campaigning strategy is just not very good. First of all, I would think getting rid of the audacious caucus would go a long way, because whenever you have Arvin Bora right after a freaking school shooting putting up something that says bad idea school shootings, good idea school board shootings, right after a bunch of kids were shot, are you stupid? Are you an idiot? Are you an idiot for even saying
there is literally a problem with
or around
libertarians?
I can't remember if it was Veterans Day, or maybe it was July 4th or Memorial Day, or whenever he said that
libertarians are literally just
hired killers.
Yeah, libertarians are just a bunch of autists, unfortunately.
But gosh, have some common sense.
Autists don't have common sense, Mike. And that's the problem.
I don't know if he actually had. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that guy. But
I mean, you start talking about how children can have consent about sex. It's yeah.
Oh my gosh! Or that you can sell heroin to kids, or what?
No, but I mean, really think about it though. No, I'm not trying to give him credit. I'm saying is to really think about it though. What have libertarians really tried to push, and what has Arvin really tried to push as well? You got a guy that basically went full-blown ANCAP at one of the highest levels of the LP and wanted to see what would happen. It's a freaking joke. The LP is literally the antithesis of itself. The existence of the LP is the joke. Libertarianism was meant to be the meme that was going to catch the masses into an amazing ideology that was absolute power corrupts absolutely. Taxation is theft. The state is violence. That's what it was meant to do. But guess what fucking happened? we kind of became complacent about the state. Now the state kind of just comes along for the ride. Next thing you know, we're like, holy shit, 20% of the function of this company is government mandated this and that and the other. I don't think I trust that because, I work in a job where I require safety. Well, the government makes shitty, I don't know, spaceship components, mining equipment, or whatever. I'm just talking future stuff. The planet does things that just are stupid because the state sucks.
Like, I don't know. I just think they need less of the trolling and the edgelord and the audaciousness. And
there is both a place and not a place for it, as weird as it sounds. Like, you need it, but you also don't need it. It's
no, you don't need, especially when you're trying to win over voters. You definitely do not need
Canadian that. Dave says the libertarian strategy needs to be economic, not political. True. No, the economic strategy is going to attract so many people because people who have more money are more willing to listen to facts. When they get better tax credits, better tax raises, better wage raises, better tax returns, they're going to be happier in the long run. So you have like a growing population of people who are going to go, hey, white people, more white people are taking care of us. More people in general. I'm not just saying just because white people, I just hop into my mind. More people in general are more taken care of because tax dollars, because, better incentives, better whatever. And these people are going to be like, hey, maybe I'll vote for better, politicians that like either fund this better or focus funding on these instead of bullshit things like sidewalks that don't work or stoplights that don't work or whatever else. So
I don't know.
Did you imagine, Mike, that a drunk me would talk about so much stuff?
I did not. I did not. How you feeling?
Oh, in the clouds. That's all.
Like you could pass out?
No, not pass out. Just more so like, in the clouds.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've already called this one a night?
Might as well. I mean, I don't see too many people in the
We've been
what did we go
been at
for?
this for almost 2 hours. So.
Oh, I didn't even know. So, all right, man. Well, have a good night. Don't party too hard. I'll just be chilling here. So
yeah, you don't party too hard. All right.
Yeah. All right, everyone.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Those who were with us in the live chat and those who watched this impromptu live stream, we really appreciate it. Appreciate Amos for sharing all of his drunken philosophy. I'm actually quite impressed with how he conducted himself in his state. But this was a really good stream and a really good conversation. I wish we could have got more people from the usual panel on here tonight, but it's Saturday. People got stuff going on, and this was kind of last minute. But
yeah.
We might do another live stream Wednesday. It depends. I've been like burned out because I've been, working so much and doing so many things. And you saw I just became the opinion editor for Being Libertarian.
Is that so? I saw that whole thing. Is that like a legit thing or something? What's going on there?
Yeah, I'm now the opinion editor. I'll be like
you're going to be editing our opinions. Fucking
yes.
Censorship.
If I don't like your opinion, I'm going to change it. No, it'll be more so for I can tell you more about it here a little bit later. I'm not going to go on about it now. But,
all right.
No. But I've been kind of like on a hiatus from doing the live streams just because I'm burned out, man. I need a vacation, something. But if we do a live stream Wednesday, we'll definitely put the word out ahead of time. So,
all right,
good night for your weekend. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.